Hello everyone, welcome to Football Italia. Behind me, a kind of picturesque riverside scene with castle on the banks of the River Po. We're in Turin, the first time we've been here for ages actually, but we are here today for our live game, which is Torino against Fiorentina. Now this is really the latest step in what's increasingly becoming Fiorentina's first real title challenge for years, but extra zest is added too to the game by the fact that whilst Fiorentina are just 1 point off the lead in Serie A, Torino are just 1 point off the relegation zone, and thus, as Kenneth Wolstenholme now explains, there's plenty to play for in today's game.
Both Torino and Fiorentina go into today's showdown desperate for a win, but for very different reasons. Fiorentina are currently the form team of Serie A. Claudio Ranieri's side are unbeaten in nearly 2 months, and last week's win over Piacenza took the Viola to within 1 point of leaders Milan. While Fiorentina have maintained their unbeaten home record, their away form has improved dramatically as well in recent weeks. They've won a hard-fought game at Padova, followed up that success with a fine win in Bergamo, and 2 weeks ago made a great recovery to earn a point at in-form Roma.
Here is Robiati. Oh! What a strike by Robiati! And Fiorentina are back in contention. Batistuta hoping in the middle. It was a free header and a goal for Batistuta.
Fiorentina's opponents today are also making something of a comeback. After just 2 wins in the first 3 months of the season, culminating in a 5-goal demolition by their arch-rival Juventus, Torino had slumped into the relegation zone, and coach Nedo Sonetti was sacked. The new man in the hot seat was former Genoa boss Franco Scoglio, and the coach, known as the Professor, seems to have found the answers to Torino's problems. Since his appointment, the Granata are unbeaten, defeating Piacenza in Scoglio's first match in charge, earning a valuable point at leaders Milan. And last week, coming within seconds of a famous win at Lazio. Fiorentina have beaten Torino in their last 2 meetings. 2-0 in Florence on the opening day of the season, and a 6-3 demolition of the Turin side towards the end of last season. However, their last meeting in Turin saw Gianluca Pesotto score the only goal of the game. Historically, that result was fairly typical. Fiorentina haven't won at Torino in over 2 decades, and the home side hold a clear advantage in the head-to-head between the clubs. This afternoon, Fiorentina will be aiming to defy that traditional inferiority and take another step towards the title. However, they won't find it easy against a revitalized home side.
Thank you, Ken. Right, well, things are a bit grey, really, here at the Stadio delle Alpi, but they've been brightened up for us a little by the arrival of our guest, Luther Blissett, looking resplendent today, actually, Luther.
Yes, thank you very much for that little compliment, James. Nice to be here.
Yes, it's nice to have you indeed. Now, Torino this afternoon, they have gone their last 5 games unbeaten. However, 4 of those have been draws, the last 4 games indeed, and thus there is a bit of a feeling here that they are a somewhat negative side. Do you agree?
Well, no, not quite, because they are going through a period of change, and whenever you're going through that sort of thing, you've got to get yourself consolidated and get yourself strong again, and from there you can hopefully take it forward and, you know, hope for better things.
Can they be hoping for better things against Fiorentina, though, today?
Well, I think looking at it before, seeing the changes they've had to make through players missing, you know, but I think today they'll have their work out, maybe.
Right, I think so too. They do have 1 or 2 situations vacant up front, do Torino. They have got some players to use up there, though. So do Fiorentina, who have a star-studded team indeed. To find out more about both squads, it's over to Kenneth Wolstenholme.
Both Torino and Fiorentina will be relying heavily on imported talent this afternoon. For the home side, French international Jocelyn Anglama has been Torino's most consistent performer so far, proving equally at home in defence or attack. Veldin Karic, a Croatian under-21 international, has found it hard to settle in his debut season in Serie A. Indeed, he's still looking for his first goal in Italy. With Ruggiero Rizzitelli suspended and Abadi Pele likely to be away on international duty with Ghana, a lot will depend on the young striker this afternoon. Fiorentina's Gabriel Batistuta has no such worries. After a slow start to the season, the Argentinian striker has weighed in with 10 league goals in as many matches. Portuguese star Rui Costa is one of Batistuta's main providers. And the Fiorentina midfielder can score them as well. With such a wealth of talent on display, we should be in for a battle royal this afternoon.
Thank you once again, Tom. We were saying earlier about Torino rather being a team who might be happy with the draw today. Though Fiorentina, though, given that they're just 1 point behind Milan, but Milan have an easy home game today against Padova, they really do have to go for the 3 points to stay up there.
Yeah, very important today that obviously Fiorentina come here today and they've got to try and win. Right. It's a result they haven't achieved in what, maybe 23 years or whatever.
Years, yeah.
So it's really, really important today that they come out and actually try and win the game.
Okay, the man who's been their main hope over the last couple of seasons, the Angel Gabriel, as they went to call him in Florence, Gabriel Batistuta. Of late, though, they're not looking so dependent on him, are they?
No, that's right. They have obviously Baiano's come in and he's helped him with a few goals, and also obviously coming off the bench we've got Robiati as well. So I mean now they've got 3 or so people that will score goals for them, and if Rui Costa can come in also and lend in with a few goals, obviously it can be very important for him.
Right, indeed. It looks like an interesting game in prospect. We are going to take a quick break though first of all, so join us for Torino against Fiorentina in a couple of minutes' time. Yes, Football Italia, we're back on the air. Just before I go any further, I'd just like to thank everyone else there at Channel 4 of History Road. Just there's no question of favouritism. And Luther, thank you for joining us. We were talking before the break about Fiorentina and possibly a title chance for them this year for the first time since 1969. Are you a believer?
Well, I think they've really got a good chance this year, because at the moment Milan now are without George Weah for a little while, so it's a chance. If they can pick the results up here, then you know they've got a great chance, because if you're going to win the Scudetto, it's really got to be done away from home, because you expect to win your home games, and it's important that they pick 3 points up away, you know, when they go away.
All right, away form obviously being the thing that's let them down in past years.
Of course, yeah, and so I mean today, their job, they've got to go out there and really attack, keep it clean at the back, but get out there and really show that they really are up for it.
Okay, well, both teams obviously very eager for this game. They're already out on the field, ready to kick off. For that reason, we'll go straight over to our commentary team, Liam Brady and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James. A very good afternoon to you all. And as we swing into the second half of the season, there is a growing belief then that one of the teams we're featuring today have been underestimated in terms of a Scudetto challenge. Fiorentina from the Renaissance City haven't won the title since '69, but such has been their splendid form of late. They are emerging as very serious contenders, and victory in Turin today will greatly enhance the prospect of their first trophy in Italian football for over 20 years. Torino are improving themselves though. Their miserable start eased by an unbeaten run since their new coach Scoglio took over in December, and their home form remains consistent. A check on the teams with Rizzitelli, their main goal scorer, absent then through suspension. Torino were hoping to have Pele back from the African Championships in time, but he was injured in fact in their last international on Friday, and so wasn't considered. Let's take a look at the Fiorentina team. Their coach Ranieri has chosen what he believes is his strongest side. Still no place for Robiati, even though he's scored in each of his last 3 games after coming on as a substitute. All set then for the kick-off, with Fiorentina in the lighter strip to get us underway, attacking the goal to our left. Over 20 years since they last won a league match here against Torino. But there's much more conviction about their play away from home this season. More reliable defensively, with Amoruso and Padalino proving excellent acquisitions, and certainly bags of attacking flair, as their record this term underlines. As for the last campaign, only Lazio have scored more goals. This is Baiano, confronted by Crivero, one of the 2 former Lazio players in the Torino side, Roberto Bacci being the other. Baiano, who seems to have recaptured his best form of late. 4 goals in his last 5 Serie A matches. Such a profitable combination up front with Batistuta. This is Rui Costa, the Portuguese international, taking the corner for Fiorentina. The cross by Piacentini. And away off Maltagliati for the corner. Maltagliati, who gave away the handball That presented Lazio with a chance to sneak a late draw last Sunday in the Olympic Stadium, which denied Torino their first away win of the campaign. Put off by Schwartz to Serena, who had been doubtful for this game because of an ankle injury. Flicked on by Rui Costa to Baiano. Very positive start here by Fiorentina. Away by Bernardini. Only as far as Serena. Will be playing on the left for Fiorentina this afternoon. Such a versatile player. He can feature in any one of a number of roles. Stefan Schwarz, the Swedish international. And off Bernardini for a throw then to Fiorentina. Second in the table, behind the leaders Milan. And just 1 point behind them. So, Liam Brady, I think we're going to see an adventurous approach from Fiorentina, who will certainly fancy this game for a win this afternoon.
Well, that's right, Peter. They really must win today to carry on with this Scudetto challenge. And they've got every chance of pulling a win off here in Turin. But we've probably seen an indication of how the game's going to go, at least till Fiorentina maybe open up the scoring. Then they might sit back and try and hit Torino on the break. But they certainly set their stall out to score first.
Torino with just a one outright striker in the young Croatian Karic. Plenty of support though from midfield. That was Bacci giving it away. Now Carnashali. On by Parolino to Amoruso. A summer signing from Bari, and he's slotted in so well at the back for Fiorentina, who've certainly tightened up defensively this season. That's Rui Costa. Ranieri has substituted him so often this season, and Rui Costa himself says he's losing patience now. How can I concentrate on my game, he said, if the coach keeps taking me off. That was Crivero who came across then. His second spell, of course, with Torino after his 5 years with Lazio, and more than a decade in Turin with his first spell at Torino. Scoglio getting a ticking off, the coach of Torino, from referee Pasquale Rodamonti.
Well, Scoglio's got a very good record coming into clubs, Peter, at difficult times and getting them out of trouble, and they've certainly done well under him in the period of time he's been at Torino. I think he felt that was his throw in there, and that's why he was complaining to the referee.
Unbeaten in 5 games since he took charge. They won the first one, and then through the next 4. Well, they are far too close to the relegation places for comfort. And he's getting very animated down there on the bench. Francesco Scoglio. He replaced Zanetti back in December. Karic losing out to Amoruso. Crivero with the clearance. And Serena always favourite to reach that one before Bernardini. And certainly Torino are going to miss Rizzatelli, who's been in fine form, and also Pele, who we thought might have come back from the African Championships. But he was injured in Ghana's international on Friday, as I was saying earlier on, so that scuppered that possibility. Piacentini. Then Bajica to Parolino. Carnashali. And Astuta on for Baiano. Well, his shot was a tame one. But already he's looking very lively up front, Baiano.
Yeah, a nice little combination there between Baiano and Batistuta. And they're the highest scoring partnership in the Serie A at the moment. They really complement one another. An exciting duo and something that the Torino defence are going to have to cope with if they're going to get any sort of result today.
Yes, 18 goals between them. 11 from Batistuta, 7 from Baiano. This is Rui Costa. Such an important figure in midfield for Fiorentina. And he'd continued his run through then until he was thwarted by Crivero's interception. Off goes Bacci. Piacentini now scurrying back. Brackley. Difficult chance for Karic today, who's come from the Croatian second division to Serie A side in Torino. He's yet to score, but his performances have been getting more consistent, and he certainly caused problems for Lazio last weekend. Rui Costa. Fiorentina have clearly come here in ambitious mood. No foul on Batistuta. The idol of the fans from France. Several thousand have made the trip today to Turin.
Well, there's the Croatian youngster Karic there, Peter, and he's got a very difficult task today. It looks like Torino setting a stall out just to play with him up front on his own and try and hit Fiorentina on the break. And he's got to lead the line all on his own. It's going to be a very difficult job for him.
Stefan Schwarz threading it on for Batistuta. Caniato, the goalkeeper for Torino, who's the third keeper this season. That's Milanese. They're going to have to get players forward in support of Karic from midfield. They've left out Dionigi, who we thought might have played up front with Karic. He's on the bench, but Naldi included instead as an extra midfield man. This is Milanese, who came from Cremonese back in the summer, for around £2 million. Karic is there with him. Easily dispossessed, though, by Bajica. Captain of the Italian under-21 team, Bajica. A very good signing by Fiorentina. Coolly played away by Crivero for Torino. Onside here, Milanese. It's a strong run too. Anglomar was lurking in the middle, Karic arriving too. So they got bodies forward there, Torino. But the service wasn't forthcoming. Now Bajica. Rui Costa. Always looking for that inventive pass, but it's just too long for Batistuta and Stefan Schwarz.
That was a good move there by Torino, and that's something that we'll have to watch out for. Milanese breaking down the left, and just a pitch his cross let him down.
Little problem here for Baiano, who was out of favour earlier in the season very briefly, but then returned to the side with a vengeance. It'll be a free kick to Fiorentina. Down Canto, the defender, on Piacentini. Del Canto has come back into the side today after suspension. Just 20 years old, he's on loan from Juventus. Schwarz. This is Serena, former Sampdoria man. Good closing down by Bernardini, but now Piacentini. Rui Costa. Now the break could be on here as Baiano returns to the field. It's Bacci leading the charge, Anglomar alongside him. Bernardini. Asking a lot here of Anglomar, and his perseverance has paid off.
Yes, he did very well to get onto that ball, Anglomar. He's got himself a corner.
He's been playing as well as anyone in the Torino side this season, in a struggling team too, whether he's at right back or, as he is today, in midfield. Always seems to turn in a positive display. Bernardini then with the corner. Anglomar couldn't make any decisive contact. Forward by Del Canto. Nothing though that Milanese could do with that. Piacentini. This is Bajica. Costa away from Falcone. He has such exquisite close control, Rui Costa. And in the end, Falcone happy just to concede the corner.
I think the referee's given a goal kick there. Yeah. I think Falcone has the job of marking Rui Costa today. I think we'll find that he'll be following the Portuguese midfielder all round. He's a very, very inventive player, Rui Costa, and Batistuta up front depends a lot on his service.
Just one score reaching me already from the other matches. Napoli have taken the lead at home to Bari, and it's Di Napoli who has scored that goal. Napoli 1, Bari 0. We'll bring you other scores as they reach us. This is Serena. Milan today, the leaders at home to Padova. Juventus away to Cremonese. Parma at home to Atalanta. Toncato. Good covering though by Bajika. Now Stefan Schwarz, the former Arsenal player. Adelino. It's not a huge crowd in the stadium, but they're making plenty of noise. Torino's average around 20,000 this season. A few more than that in here today, I would think, with the fans coming from Florence as well. Canto. This is Milanese. Now Carnashali to Rui Costa. Very much the fulcrum of the side, Rui Costa. That's Bajika with the intended pass. Doesn't reach Serena, and off goes Bernardini. Karic through the middle. Mistake then by Amoruso, but there's no one behind Karic in a Torino shirt to profit from it. Bajika. Here's Baiano. Now Bajika. Hard to believe at this stage that Torino are the home side. Batistuta being policed by Crovero. Still got his shot in, but the whistle had gone anyway. Cornered fence by Batistuta.
Yes, it is hard to believe that they're home side, Peter. It's so obvious what they intend to do. They're just going to sit back in numbers and hope that Fiorentina commit too many people to attack and hit them on the break.
Fiorentina have won 3 times away from home this season in Serie A. That's already matched last season's total. Meantime, Vialli has given Juventus the lead away to his hometown club, Cremonese. Cremonese 0, Juventus 1. Juventus down in 4th place at the moment, 6 points behind Milan at the start of the weekend fixtures. Rui Costa. Plenty of imagination about Fiorentina's approach play, but they can't break Torino down, this massed Torino defence.
Just look how many bodies there are back there, Peter. As I say, they'll be hoping that Fiorentina, in their desperation to win this game, which they feel they probably have to, in the chase for the Scudetto, will just commit one too many men forward, and they can hit them.
Bernardini. You have to sympathise with Torino for losing Pele and Rizzatelli, but it's a very negative approach from them this afternoon. You have to say nonetheless. Here's Baiano. Trying to pierce that well-organised defence as it's been so far. 15 minutes gone. Carnashali. Rui Costa. Baiano had shown for him. And a trip then by Piacentini on Karic. Torino have had useful draws lately against Milan and Parma and Lazio last weekend. So they are certainly beginning to improve under Scolio. And I must say, I do find their approach rather disappointing this afternoon as a home team to field so many defenders, swamping the midfield and hoping to deny Fiorentina a path to goal through their many attacking players. This is Anglomar for Torino. Way by Padalino to Rui Costa. Amoruso. This is Serena. Now Schwartz. Batistuta calling through the middle. Service wasn't quite good enough. Schwartz again. Serena overrunning it. And it's Bernardini in possession now then for Torino. Good tackle by Bajika. He started very impressively, Bajika, the former Bari captain.
Yes, he's doing a very good job in the middle of the park there, winning the ball and giving it to the likes of Rui Costa and Baiano. They have to be patient, Fiorentina. They mustn't think that they've got to win the match now. They've just got to wait for that opening to come. So they definitely have the players to strike and to get goals. They just have to keep their patience.
All four of their defeats this season have come away from home. They've yet to draw on their travels. Now, what can Bacci lay on here? There was a poor cross from the former Lazio man. Rui Costa now. He's found Baiano. Teasing Falcone. Batistuta was off balance. Falcone to Minaudo. Milanese. Now Bacci. This is Minaudo, who had his first start for Torino last weekend. Former Inter player from his youth days, as you remember, Liam, Minaudo. I'll ask you about that in a moment. Let's stay here with Batistuta, who's tumbled from behind. It was a theatrical dive by Batistuta. Falcone pleading his innocence. I think he clipped his heel, but surely it wasn't that serious an offence. Mind you, it's a painful part of the leg to be struck on, isn't it, the ankle?
Well, I think he just felt contact there, Batistuta, and he knew he wasn't in a great forward position, so he went down and he got himself a free kick in quite a dangerous area. They've got plenty of bodies up now. Fiorentina, they've got a lot of height in their side. Maybe they can capitalise on this.
Padalino, Amoruso both come up. Punched away by Cagnato. Very decisively too. And he's got hurt in the process. Off goes Bacci. Carnashali tracking back with him. Cagnato still with a problem. Karic. Away from Bajika. Now he's got Anglomar alongside him. Bernardini at the far post. This is Bernardini. Great save by Toldo. But should there have been a penalty before that? Well, there's a bit of confusion here. I wonder, has he given the penalty kick? He's given a free kick.
Well, it looks like he's given a free kick for a little pass back from the Fiorentina defender, but there was definitely a penalty there. Schwartz had him over. Well, the referee probably played a little bit of advantage. There you go, there's a little pass back, he's grabbed it.
Yeah, that's a good spot, Liam, you're right there, that's Padalino. But surely this was a penalty. Schwartz, well, maybe he didn't see Anglomar coming, maybe he did. Certainly made contact with him.
I think the referee probably played on there, Peter, because he was convinced that Torino were going to score anyway.
I think we all were.
What a miss.
Well, they can't retreat for 10 yards. There's only 6 available. Who'd be a referee in this situation? What would you do here, Liam?
I think you've just got to blast and hope for the best, Peter. Might go in off somebody, might be deflected. Just keep it away from the goalkeeper. Try and get a bit of height on it. It's not easy because you're so close to the goal.
Milanese has a very powerful shot, the number 3 there. Meanwhile, there's a lot of squabbling and arguing going on. It's an amazing incident. Crivero touched off Milanese. Body's thrown at the ball, driven through by Karic, off the goal line. Well, determined defending that by Fiorentina.
Well, what an escape for Fiorentina, but it wasn't so much the first one from the free kick, it was Carriage's shot. It was cleared off the line. I wasn't quite sure who got it off the line, Peter, but the keeper was beaten.
I think it might have been Padalino, but we'll see again from the replay in a moment. It was certainly Karic with the shot. And it is Padalino on that post. Yeah, he cleared it away. Rescued his team there. Karic denied his first goal in Serie A for Torino. Halfway through the first half, certainly drama there. Torino will feel they should have had a penalty. Off goes Anglomar. Taken on by Padalino. And he's found himself in some very advanced situations as Anglomar. And he's won the free kick. Meantime, we're seeing Karic with the shot again.
Yes, very determined run by Anglomar. I haven't seen a lot of him because we haven't seen a lot of Torino, Peter, but this fella's caught my eyes. What a good player. Very determined. I don't know, the referee had to let that go on a little bit more. He could have had a penalty.
Well, we were saying earlier on about the need for Torino to get players forward in support of Karic, and Anglomar has certainly done that. He was the man bundled over in the incident for which Torino felt they should have had a penalty. This is Crivero, Bernardini. Back to the drawing board with that one.
Yes, it was obviously a rehearsed free kick, didn't quite come off. Well, I think Scoglio on the Torino bench will be happy the way his team have handled this first 20-25 minutes. Fiorentina really haven't threatened a goal, and Torino have been unlucky not to take the lead.
Behind from Karic for a goal kick then to Fiorentina. Francesco Toldo, a very relieved man that he was helped out by Padalino on the goal line. This is Padalino now. Well, that certainly livened up the first half. Rui Costa for Fiorentina, who are dictating the pace of the game. But Torino beginning to ask 1 or 2 questions now on the break. Stefan Schwarz. Rui Costa. This is Serena. Falcone, the covering defender. A very highly rated young man too, who's come up through the youth ranks in Turin. And is a current under-21 international. Piacentini. Swapping passes with Bajika. Now Rui Costa. This is Minaldo. Oh, good skill. Excellent play by Minaldo. But he failed to link up with Bernardini. I was just going to ask you about Minaldo. You remember him from Inter?
That's right, Peter. He was a young pro at Inter when I was there, and he's a very slight player. He hasn't really grown. He's very thin, and he's a little bit frail, but he's a good footballer. And I suppose one of the highlights of his career was a game I was playing in. He scored a winner in the Milan derby when we beat AC Milan 1-0, and he popped up in the last 10 or 15 minutes, if I seem to remember correctly, and got the all-important goal. He's been a bit of a journeyman player since then. He's gone to Atalanta, and now he's ended up here in Turin, playing for Torino. He's a reliable player.
Meantime, there's some distress here for Falcone. which is going to need, I think, some fairly urgent attention. But Ronaldo, who we were discussing there, indeed came from Atalanta back in November, but had to wait until last Sunday before getting his first start. Carnashali. For the moment, Torino down to 10 men. But they will want Falcone back as soon as possible. He's a key defender for them. Serena. Not on the same wavelength there as Batistuta. Carnashali flying into the tackle on Del Canto. Carnashali, who was out through suspension recently, but has since reclaimed his place in the team. Makes a lot of good runs down that right flank. Karic. Now Bajika. Preferred in the starting lineup to Coes and to Robbiati. I'm sure we'll see Robbiati at some stage. He scored in each of the last 3 games after coming on as a substitute. Foul by Baiano on Milanese.
Yeah, I think what Fiorentina have lacked really is people getting down the outside, down the wings. And I suppose an important member of their side is Serena. The left back, he does just that. He's a very strong attacking left back, but we haven't seen much of him today. And I think if they're going to break down this Torino defence, they're going to have to get people down the wings.
Torino themselves have been well short of goals this season, only 17 in Serie A. Only Cagliari with 13 have scored less. Foul on Baiano this time. And clearly Torino have him marked down as a very serious threat to them. Parolino to Amoruso. This is Rui Costa. Trying to wriggle his way through. Now Batistuta. Well, he was looking for a penalty then, claiming he lost his balance or he was pulled. And quite rightly, the referee has cautioned him for diving. He made an absolute meal of that, Batistuta. And in my book, the referee's spot on.
Yes, I have to say so, Peter. He had no chance there of getting a penalty. I think it was poked back to the goalkeeper, or he lost possession himself. And he just threw himself on the ground.
There's no contact here at all. And that's what he's done. He's thrown himself down. There's no other description for that. And it warrants a yellow card, and he has one. Good for you, referee Modamonti. News of a goal for Cremonese. It's now 1-1 against Juventus. Tentoni has equalised. Here's Batistuta to fight Baiano for Fiorentina. Support from Piacentini. Rui Costa, Baiano with the strike! And a fabulous save by Cagnato. Threw himself through the air then to tip it over the bar.
Yeah, that's been Fiorentina's best moment. Again, that combination of Batistuta, Baiano, great shot on the volley and a great save.
Cagnato seeking his first clean sheet for Torino since he's come into the team. Remember, as the third choice this season. And we started to come for that one, thought better of it. And Torino have got away with it. Karic with the clearance. Over the upfield line for Torino. You have to keep pinching yourself to remember they are the home team. There's been a goal now for Inter. They're playing Vicenza today, away from home. Maurizio Gans has given them the lead. Paul Inz's team, of course, that's his 7th of the season. Vicenza nil, Inter 1. Inter beginning to make progress now up the table, starting today in 8th place. Level on points, in fact, with Vicenza. Half an hour gone in the first half here. No way through for Batistuta. Carnashali. Still the initiative remains with the away side. Fiorentina, 2nd in the table. A point behind the leaders, Milan. Serena. Now Rui Costa. Easily broken up though by the 32-year-old Crovero. Good anticipation by Serena. Now Batistuta. Piacentini to Padalino. Bayano, who does cover so much ground. Certainly more mobile than Batistuta. Bajika. Again, Torino have just about everybody back behind the ball, and it's so hard for Fiorentina to find a way through. This is Bernardini. Karic held it up well. Anglomar's off. Well, Bajika had gone with him and has fouled him.
He's quick, Anglomar. You know, Bajika was always favourite to get that ball, but Anglomar showed his pace and his determination to get onto it, and Bajika had to bring him down and earned himself a yellow card.
Yes, he's certainly a source of inspiration to Torino down this right flank, Anglomar. Another surging run by him until he was hauled down by Bajika. Support arriving now. Milanese has come out. Maltagliati. Dreadful kick though by Bernardini. What a waste. Here's Piacentini. Manoeuvred by Karic, but it's a foe to Fiorentina. Cagliari are leading Udinese by a goal to nil. The score on Muzzi. Still no goals in the San Siro. Milan at home to Padova. We were expecting a few today. Milan, of course, without George Weah. Bayano. Here's Amoruso. Still Torino happy just to sit back, soak up the pressure, hope for a counter-attack. Schwartz with the cross. Easily read, though, by Massimiliano Cagnato. Del Canto. Faced by Piacentini. This is Rui Costa. Bayano. Rui Costa. On to Batistuta. And this time he has won the foul. The offender was Del Canto.
Yeah, I don't think there was any diving there, Peter. The defender came right through him, and it's a free kick in a very dangerous position. Looks like we've got 6-1 to take it, though. I suppose it's going to be maybe a blast from Batistuta or a bender from Rui Costa.
Or possibly Amoruso, who also has a venomous shot from long range. Whoever takes it will be hoping to test Cagnato in goal for Torino today. Came from Udinese back in November and has looked very assured between the posts so far. Still the referee ushering that wall back. Now, will it be Batistuta or Amoruso? Batistuta, remember, with 11 goals in Serie A this season. But it's easily claimed by Cagnato.
I think Rui Costa got it up and over the wall, but there's no real pace on it, Peter, to trouble Cagnato. Rui Costa indeed with the free kick. This is Milanese. Now Cravero. Made by Amoruso, but only as far as Bernardini. Anglomar. Karic trying to find some room up front. As Anglomar rather dallies in possession.
All very disappointing for Torino.
Yeah, well, it must be so difficult for them, because when they look up, you know, there's not a lot to see. They just see a lot of white shirts with carriage stuck up there amongst them, and really there's nowhere to go. They really have to hit Fiorentina on the break if they're going to get around the back of them.
Paolo Carnasciali.
Likewise, Peter, I think if Fiorentina are going to break down this defence, they've got to get people going on a bit more from midfield. They all seem to be sitting and just passing it. Schwartz, Rui Costa.
A glimpse of Ranieri, the coach of Fiorentina. This is Baiano. On by Bajika to Piacentini. Now Carnasciali. Away though by Crivero. The sweeper in the Torino side. All rather predictable though, the build-up there from Fiorentina. Need a bit more guile to find a way to break them down. Carnasciali taking the throw. Played it by Piacentini. Milanese to whack it away. There's only carriage upfield again. He's a willing front runner, but a lone front runner. Batistuta down for Rui Costa. Batistuta again. And the shot took a deflection. It was a long, long way out then, Batistuta. Rather lucky to get the corner. Rui Costa. Well, the cross found Amoruso, who had escaped the marking, and that was a definite opportunity then, as good as they've had in this first half, really, for Fiorentina. Amoruso, who has squandered the opening.
Yes, great play by Rui Costa. Just makes enough room for himself to whip that ball in near post, and he really needs to keep that header down. He's got every chance of scoring.
Anglemar, who lost his concentration, to enable Amoruso to sneak in for the header. It's been a goal now for Parma at home to Atalanta. Gabriel Pin. It's a rare goal for him. So Parma leading Atalanta by 1-0. Parma in third place, 2 points behind Fiorentina before the weekend games. This is Serena. Rui Costa inside him. Again, it's all very tight. Bajika. We're now well inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. Free kick to Fiorentina. Carnasciali. Here's Amoruso. Serena. Anglemar back defending. It squirms off him. And into the grateful arms of Cagnato. A game that so far really hasn't ignited. That little flurry from Torino didn't last too long. They've been mainly on the defensive. And Fiorentina haven't had the wit so far to perforate them.
It's a very, very difficult game for Fiorentina. You know, you don't come and expect the team to play with away from home. When they're playing away from home, they expect the home side to play with 10 men back.
Baiano. Bajika on for Patalino. His chance to break forward now. And the free kick given to Torino for the offence on Milanese. Frustrating afternoon then so far for Fiorentina. Needing a win today to keep up the pressure on Milan, up at the top of the table. Off goes Karic.
Yeah, I think if Fiorentina are going to break this Torino defence down, they've got to get people from midfield going without the ball. They all seem to want the ball to the feet in midfield. Schwartz is that kind of player. Costa keeps the ball Pajika. They really need a runner from midfield, Peter, go without the ball. Give the Torino defence something to think about.
Well, they have one on the bench in Robbiati. Maybe we'll see him in the second half. Rui Costa. Serena. Now Rui Costa. Tigerish tackling by Anglomar. And Rui Costa has been penalised.
I think that's part of the game plan as well. They let Rui Costa have possession, give him the feeling that he's got time on the ball, and then they're rushing him. They've nicked it from him 3 or 4 times.
That's Ranieri's main criticism of Rui Costa, is that he dribbles too much with the ball, holds on to it too long. But he's such a talented player. Here's Baiano, slipping it on for Serena. And what a good tackle. An important one too from Crivero.
Well, that's what I meant. That's Serena going, making a run off the ball, and very nearly got through.
Baiano, 3 minutes of the first half remaining. Rui Costa, Baiano. Couldn't retain possession though. And away come Torino, but not too far. And at times they're struggling to get out of their own half, Torino. Just a 1 home defeat so far to Atalanta, although Juventus also beat them, but then Torino were the designated away side. This is Bernardini now, threatening down the right side until the intervention by Amoruso. A fairly rare moment of concern for Fiorentina in this first half. Bernardini will take the corner. Ranieri, the coach of Fiorentina, hoping his team can snuff out the danger. And they do so fairly easily. Now Falcone. It goes Baiano, still Falcone. On for Bernardini, he's onside here. Needs a good cross. Didn't get one. Nothing there to unhinge Fiorentina defensively.
That's 3 or 4 times they've had decent crossing positions, and the cross has been poor. It's been let them down, really.
Well, we're wondering how much they were going to miss Rizzatelli. The answer is quite a lot. No doubt about it at all. He's been such a crucial player for them this season, Rizzatelli. Not only with his goals, but his general all-round play. And they've no one really to take the weight off Karic's shoulders. Baiano inside the last minute of the first period, away by Crivero. Minaldo. Catalino again read the situation so well. Understood her in pursuit, but Crivero there first for Torino. He's given it away. Serena. Scolio, the coach, going through all the emotions down there on the sidelines. Here's Karic. Hasn't got a lot of support. Surrounded by a whole cluster of Fiorentina defenders.
Well, that was another example of Rui Costa holding onto the ball too long, having it taken from him. And I can see why there's a little bit of debate going on between him and the coach, because really some of the time he takes on the ball is needless, and he's only asking for trouble.
Into stoppage time. Catalino for Fiorentina. Piacentini, the former Roma man. Seems to have really settled into this Fiorentina team now, Piacentini. Amoruso. This is Catalino. Good running by Piacentini. And he couldn't finish off his good work. Bacci. Now Karic wanting some support. He's found it through Milanese. Into the second minute now of injury time. Bacci with the cross, he's found Bernardini. But Anglomar with no chance of reaching that one. Here's Amoruso. Now Bajika. Well, Fiorentina have shown ambition in the first half, but no real cutting edge up front. And Torino, I have to say, Liam, a bit of a big disappointment, really.
Yeah, I suppose as a spectacle it is disappointing, but I don't think the Torino coach will be disappointed in his team. I think they're playing to a game plan and they're doing it pretty well. They've had the best chance to take the lead, and I'm sure that's all he's looking for is that single goal and just sit back as they're doing at the moment. If we're going to see a spectacle of a match, really we need Fiorentina to score, so Torino have to come out and open it up a bit.
Milanese. Here's Bacci. Oh, he's wriggled clear too. Bacci with the cross. Anglomar! Only just wide. Well, he's beating the ground in frustration, but he did well then to reach the cross.
Yes, although Torino haven't had a lot of the game, they've gone close on a couple of occasions, and he certainly has been the best player on the park in the first 45 minutes. Anglomar, the French midfield player.
Toldo, I'm sure, had it covered, the goalkeeper, but nonetheless, it was an opportunity. Anglomar threatening again for Torino. Rui Costa. Schwarz away to his left. The cross-in was aimless, though, from Rui Costa, who has been substituted 11 times this season. He might be in danger of being so again today if he doesn't buck up his ideas in the second half. And that is the end of the first 45 minutes, which hasn't really lived up to expectations, I'm afraid, although there were opportunities. Certainly one here right at the death for Anglomar, after Bacci had pulled it back. And he's climbed above Stefan Schwarz to hit the ball just wide of goal. Fiorentina with a couple of near misses at the other end, and of course, there was the incident when Torino felt they should have had a penalty. But that's the way of it at the halfway stage. No goals so far in Turin. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, to Football Italia here at the Stadio delle Alpi. We've been enjoying, in the broader sense of the word anyway, Torino against Fiorentina. Currently half-time, though, thus, of course, an opportunity for us to have a look at how the things stand around the rest of Serie A on this week 18 of the season. Over in Sardinia, to begin with, it's Cagliari 2, Udinese 0, thanks to Muzzi and Oliveira. Udinese, though, down to 10 men after just 5 minutes of today's game, after their keeper Battistini was sent off. Cremonese 1-1 currently with Juventus, Vialli scoring first. Tentoni, a rare goal for him in response. Milan, Padova 0-0. Napoli 1-0 up at home to Bari, thanks to a goal from Di Napoli. Parma 2-0 up at home over Atalanta, thanks to Pin and Meli. Roma leading against Sampdoria, a late penalty kick from Balba there just before half-time. Torino 0-0 with Fiorentina, and Vicenza trailing at home to Inter. The goal there from Maurizio Gans, putting Roy Hodgson's mob ahead. The evening match obviously still yet to kick off today, and here's Ken with more details on that.
This week's Mezzanotte programme visits the Galliano Stadium for the first time this season as Piacenza play host to Lazio. In the corresponding fixture on the opening day of the campaign, Lazio ran out comfortable 4-1 winners over the reigning Serie B champions. And since then, Piacenza have found things no easier. Currently, Gigi Cagne's team are down in the relegation zone. And the main reason for that lowly league standing is their appalling away form. Piacenza have collected just 3 points on their travels all season. However, if it wasn't for their home form, things could be much worse. Piacenza's 4 league victories have so far all come at the Galliano. And as Roma and Sampdoria have both discovered, Piacenza are perfectly capable of beating the big boys. So Lazio, although lying 11 places and 10 points above their hosts, will have a far from easy time of things this evening. Indeed, Zdeněk Zeman's team have, after losing their last 4 away games, plenty to worry about. For Lazio, tonight could well be their last chance of mounting a serious title challenge. However, on current form, Piacenza have every chance of claiming another big scalp. See how they get on in Mezzanotte on Tuesday night.
Excellent, well do tune in for that then on Tuesday night. Right now though, it's time to announce the winner of our luxury trip for two to a top Serie A game in our December Goal of the Month competition. First of all, the best goal of December was adjudged to have been this, a little gem from Rui Costa in the Coppa Italia against Palermo. And the winning viewer is Mr. Tony Pringle of Newmarket. So he'll be coming down onto Italy sometime before the end of the season, of course, to enjoy his top Serie A game. And if you'd like to have a crack at that, obviously stay tuned, because in a couple of weeks' time we'll have our January Goal of the Month competition. Anyway, right, of course, we've got the second half of today's game to look forward to. Another quick break coming up just before that. So join us in a couple of minutes' time for the second half of Torino against Fiorentina. Welcome back everyone to Football Italia. We're just getting ready for the second half of Torino-Fiorentina. Before we hand back to the commentators though, Luther, that penalty occasion, it was the big incident of the first half. To us it looked blatantly so that, you know, that it should have been a kick for Torino after the push on Angler.
That's right, because I mean, fair enough, the referee allowed a bit of advantage, but I'd have thought he'd have blew the whistle immediately, because the ball had to go in the back of the net if he hadn't been pushed in the back.
Right, Liam identifying Angler as very much the man of the match for the first 45 minutes anyway. You agree with that?
Yes, he's been exceptional. I mean, they're playing that peculiar system of playing Karic up front on his own, and the two wide men, but Anglemar's really made it work by holding the ball and actually running it for him.
Okay, nearly nicked a goal as well towards the end of the first half there. Now, it's time now for the second half, kick-off approaching, so let's hand back to our commentary team, Liam Brady and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James. Torino then kicking off. Now attacking the goal to our left, and let's hope they're going to be attacking a bit more often than they did in the first half. Robbiati is on for Fiorentina, so that's no real surprise. He's come on to such good effect in recent games. Remember, scoring on each of the last 3 occasions that he has been a substitute. Certainly Ranieri's been under some pressure to include him from the start, but he's resisted that temptation, keeping his settled formation. But now Robbiati is on, and we're just checking round to see who he has replaced. Your thoughts on that, Liam?
Well, you've heard me say, Peter, that I thought they needed some support, some better support from midfield, and Robbiati will certainly give them that. It could possibly be that the right-sided midfield player for Fiorentina has come off, Piacentini. I think Rui Costa will remain on.
Here's Bernardini taking the free kick. Now Rui Costa. Can't see Piacentini at the moment. Del Canto. In goes Baiano, losing out though. Rui Costa now. Oh, good run here by Carnashali. And the cross in, and a header from Baiano. What a good save again by Cagnato.
Well, this young goalkeeper's making a name for himself. That's 2 tremendous saves. But a great break by the Fiorentina defender on the outside. We haven't seen enough of that. And a good header by Baiano, right in the corner, with a great fingertip save around the post.
Well, that was going in, definitely. Rui Costa with the corner. Back in by Stefan Schwarz. Batistuta just stayed onside. Rui Costa again. Catalino has stayed up. Costa was too long. Away for the goal kick. But again, Torino very much indebted there to their goalkeeper Cagnato. Inviting cross by Carnashali. Baiano's header looked to be arrowing into the corner.
Yeah, great striker's instincts there by Baiano. Got across the defender. Good cross right in his path. A great header down beside the post, but an equally good save.
Well, Scoglio has found himself a very useful goalkeeper in Cagnato. Came up through the youth ranks with Inter, although he never played for the Milan club. And he certainly performed heroics for Torino this afternoon. Remember, seeking his first clean sheet. It's his 6th game now in the Torino side. Karic walking a little gingerly at the moment. An arduous afternoon for him as the lone striker for Torino. Piacentini has indeed gone off, by the way, to accommodate the arrival of Robiati. Carnasciali. Baiano to Robiati, who's full of running, such a lively player. But here's Karic now on the break for Torino. No foul. Bajika. Serena, touchdown for Padalino. Baiano to Stefan Schwarz. Rui Costa. Now Carnasciali. Good tackle though by Bacci, who made one or two enterprising runs in the first half of his midfield role. Slipped on here by Rui Costa to Batistuta, but he's thwarted by the linesman's flag. Got an ankle injury he's been trouble with for some time now, Batistuta. Maybe that's affected his mobility today.
Well, he's had really nowhere to go, but it's been a better start to the second half from Fiorentina. I think they are getting more bodies forward from defence and from midfield, and really that's what is needed. They've got to get round the back of Torino, as they did when Baiano went close, if they're going to get these 3 points that they need vitally to maintain their title challenge.
So strong at home again this season, Fiorentina. Better away, but only 9 of their 30 goals have come on away trips. Schwarz. Seems to have calmed down a little in recent games, Stefan Schwarz, after a flurry of yellow cards and a sending off in the early games. For those of you who saw the recent game against Roma will feel he was very lucky not to have been cautioned for his assault on Jonas Tern, his Swedish compatriot. Serena. Now Schwarz, Serena again. It is Baiano. Minaldo. On for Bacci. Options ahead of him. One of them here is Karic. Confronted by Amoruso. And the referee reckons it was a fair challenge. Karic presumably doesn't agree.
Well, I thought that was a foul. We didn't quite see it on the replay there, Peter. He's blaming now Karic for taking a dive. There's no way he's taken a dive. It doesn't compare to the dive that got Batistuta booked in the first half. I thought there was contact there, and that should have been a free kick.
Yeah, that looked a crude challenge to me from Amoruso. But the referee says he was the offender then, Karic.
Well, I think there's a case, Peter, to say that these referees are getting carried away with this booking for deliberate diving. You know, we saw Ginola booked during the week at Highbury there, and there was no way he was fouled, and he ended up with a booking.
Although in fairness that's been revoked now. The referee's had a good look at the replay on the video and says he's changed his mind.
Yeah, but he probably would not have been sent off otherwise. It's debatable.
Maybe Ginola showed his frustration, yeah. Baiano and Batistuta taking over from him. Then just lost his footing at the vital moment. Just going back to that Ginola, I think he would have been sent off anyway for the second offence, but you're saying maybe his frustration was boiling over then.
Exactly, yeah. He felt he wasn't getting the right kind of treatment from the referee, and I think that led to him losing his head and getting sent off.
And a 3-match ban. Serena for Fiorentina. Now Rui Costa, who did give the ball away too easily in the first half, for all his undoubted ability. It can be a bit frustrating for the coach Ranieri. This is Karic. Minaldo. He's done well to find Bernardini. The cross it was a dangerous one to Anglomar. who again had made a forward run from his midfield position. The current French international, Anglomar, certainly making an impact with Torino. It's his second season with the club now. Rui Costa. All the chip in has found Batistuta. Now Crivero in the way for Torino. So composed defending then by Roberto Crivero. Amoruso to tidy up for Fiorentina. Champions on only 2 previous occasions, 56 and 69. So it's been a long, long wait for their fans to get even a sniff of the championship again. Batistuta, Rui Costa, Ronaldo back defending and just nicked it away then from Robiati. But my word, it was a risky game he was playing then, Ronaldo. Karic. The pattern remains the same in this second half. The initiative with Fiorentina. Torino just content to sit back. Bajika. Here's Rui Costa. Cleverly on for Robiati. And his shirt tugged then by Del Canto. Schwartz. Wide of him, Serena. Shot was an ambitious one. Bounced back off Batistuta. And he's been penalised.
I think they've really got to use the flanks a little bit more, Fiorentina. Robiati's come on, but really he's playing inside rather than down the wing, and they're not getting much down this right side. And I think Schwartz had an opportunity to give that ball there to Serena and get him going down the left, and chose not to. And they're really going into the areas that Torino are strong in.
Amoruso's header, then Batistuta. Yes, it's certainly far more encouraging when Carnashali got away down the right early on. And that header from Baiano, which Cagnato did so well to keep out. Here's Bajika. Very industrious in midfield, Bajika. But it's a little more imagination and invention now that Fiorentina need. Certainly more width to their attacking play. Karic tackling with Bajika. Del Canto taking the free kick. Anglomar. Amoruso was there with him though. Very strong in the air, Amoruso. And he certainly added some resilience to Fiorentina's defending this season. The cross in towards Karic and just flicked away at the last end by Carnashali.
Oh, that was a good ball from little Ronaldo in the middle of the park for Torino. He's had a good game as well. He's used the ball very intelligently. Some good covering in the middle of the park. He's having a fine game.
Meantime, a very famous former Fiorentina player has got his name on the score sheet today. Roberto Baggio has given Milan the lead at home to Padova. Milan 1, Padova 0. And it was from the penalty spot. The shot from Milanese had no real power behind it. Batistuta, who's not having the most rewarding of afternoons. Anglomar having a swing initially, then Milanese. Robiati. It is Maltagliati. Confronted though by Stefan Schwartz. Now Bacci. Milanese. Anglomar. What a neat touch then from the Frenchman. This is Bernardini. Karic. Up goes Anglomar. Doesn't fall for him or Del Canto. Karic. And the ball gone behind.
Yes, I think he gave a goal kick there, Peter. It's been taken quickly.
Well, that was more like it then from Torino. Showing a little more adventure anyway. Amoruso sliding it on. Roberto Bacci. Here's Anglomar. No, turn back into Bajika. Rui Costa. Fiorentina looking to step up the pace now. Robiati. An angle run by Batistuta. Here he is, and he squeezed it in! Gabriel Batistuta strikes again for Fiorentina. And we were writing him off too soon. Well, 59 minutes gone, and Fiorentina had the lead, and it's Batistuta, goal number 12 in Serie A for him this season.
That's right, Peter. He's second top scorer in Serie A, and sometimes these guys can be having a poor game by their standards, but all they need is one good chance, and they can stick it in the back of the net. It was ironic, really. It was the fact that Fiorentina caught Torino on the break. I think it was Anglomar lost the ball in the middle of the park, and they broke quickly. Good move between Rui Costa and the substitute Robiati. Good ball through for Batistuta, and he took it really, really well. Possibly a goalkeeper a little unsighted as it came through the defender's legs.
Yeah, I think he was there, in fairness to him, Cagnato.
Now we should see a bit more of a spectacle.
Yeah. Dionigi is coming on. Davide Dionigi, who was a striker. And Del Canto, a defender, has gone off. So at least that's a positive step being taken by the coach. Milanese taking the throw. Well, this surely now will bring Torino out. Certainly what the game needed.
Yes, we said that in the first half. Really, Torino will have to come out now and try and break down this Fiorentina defence. And of course, what that's going to do is leave more space for these talented Fiorentina players. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go and win this game comfortably now.
Robiati, Carnashali. Good save again by Cagnato. But once more, the threat of Carnashali down the right side, creating problems for Torino. So he's going to rearrange his tactics now. Scolio, the coach of Torino. Here's Karic, who will have some support up front then now, with the arrival of Dionigi, an Italian under-21 international. Bernardini with the cross, but no harm done from Fiorentina's point of view. News reaching me now that Cremonese have scored again against Juventus, so they're 2-1 up. That's Maspero with a penalty. And Sampdoria have equalised away to Roma. Manini, their veteran defender. Roma 1, Sampdoria 1. Balbo on the stroke of half-time with a penalty, giving Roma the half-time advantage, but now Sampdoria back on level terms, thanks to the former Italian international Manini. Serena, former Sampdoria player, of course. Rui Costa. Here's Baltagliati. Now Karic. Milanese sprinting through the middle, and also Dionigi, but it's far too close to the giant figure of Toldo, around 6'6", the tallest goalkeeper in Serie A. Rui Costa. And you still feel it's going to take a major change of fortune for Torino to bring themselves back into this game now. They haven't had the firepower up front before, but maybe now the arrival of Dionigi could change all that. Robiati. Robiati down injured. Anglomar cautioned. Bajika also injured. So a double problem for Fiorentina, and a yellow card confirmed there for the French international Jocelyn Anglomar. It was a bit late then on Robiati.
Yeah. He has been a very determined personality on the pitch, and I suppose that's going to always be a risk that you're going to get yellow carded. But there you go, you get Scoglio giving instructions to his defenders there. They've really got to sort it out now, Torino. The boot's on the other foot as such now. They've been content to sit back. Now they find themselves a goal behind. They've really got to do something about it, and you just wonder whether they're capable.
So Brackley being stretched off. Now Robbiati scored with a wonderful free kick against Roma a couple of weeks ago. He's a bit further out this time, and he's got his angles all wrong.
I think that went to his head, that free kick against Roma, Peter. He was about 20 yards.
Even you wouldn't have tried from there, would
he
you?
was about 20 yards further back. This is the guy who plays for Sampdoria. He likes to try from that range. The left back.
Oh, Mihailovic you're talking about, yeah. Batistuta. Rui Costa. Teasing Bacci. In goes Batistuta. Altoliati threw himself at him there. Some of the shooting is a bit ambitious, to put it mildly. But Batistuta was winding up for the shot, and Altoliati was in the way. And that was very painful.
Yes, you can see there's a bit more space now for the Fiorentina attack. I think he's just got a knock just above the knee there as Batistuta followed through. That was rather ambitious, wasn't it? Just from inside his own half.
But the bravery of Altoliati may well have saved a goal.
Yes, it was a good block.
Cois maybe about to come on for Fiorentina. Off the head of Bacci then to Milanese. Brackley to Padalino, who's had another excellent game at the back for Fiorentina today. Brackley, who I was just going to say had been tidy in midfield, but now he's given it away.
Well, you're right, Pity. He has had a good game. He's really the midfield player that breaks things up.
Well, here's Karic. Spectacular, and actually not that far away in the end. Well, that would have been some way for Karic to score his first goal in Serie A. But in the end, no problem for Toldo. Really unknown before his arrival in Italy, Karic, coming from the Croatian second division. 22 years old. Signed from the Marsonia club, for those of you who know your Croatian second division football. A black look from Liam, I should say that.
No, I can't help you there, Peter, but I have to say, without being too critical of him, that he's had a tough game up there in his own, but he doesn't really impress me that much that he has the qualities to survive in Serie A.
Karic, hoping they'd to prove him wrong. Didn't succeed.
Yeah, you watch, he'll go and score a 30-yard volley in a minute.
Yeah. Batistuta. And I'm just getting told off by our statistician. Apparently Marsonia have been promoted to the Croatian first division, which you'd have known, Liam, obviously, but I wasn't aware of that fact.
Well, I didn't want to contradict you, Peter.
No. Just enjoyed showing me up, didn't you? Milanese. Dreadful pass, though, straight to Stefan Schwarz. That's a better pass. Baiano, he's got two over on that far side. Robbiati steaming through the middle. Batistuta was there as well. Halfway through the second half. And it's better than the first period. Bernardini. Milanese almost released, and that was composed defending on the ball by Padalino.
That was brilliant defending, wasn't it, Peter?
Yeah, well, he was very unruffled by it all. Two key signings for Fiorentina, Padalino and Amoruso at the back this season. Here's Robiati. Now it's Torino's turn, I was going to say, to defend with composure, but they've given it away. Bajika just overhit in search of Batistuta. Bernardini, Torino have got to raise their game now. They've got to push a few more men forward. Serena. Cheekily played out. Amoruso. This is Baiano. Rui Costa. Fiorentina driving on now. Off goes Baiano. He's onside. Baiano! 2-0. Super finishing.
Great goal. All started with composed defending by Serena up in the left-back position. Good break. Good play from Rui Costa again. He's getting the space now that he really thrives on. And Baiano took it very confidently.
A goal on 69 minutes. Baiano with his 8th Serie A goal of the season. And that's 5 in 6 now for him. Just waited for his moment and slipped it past the goalkeeper. Batistuta had stayed onside. There was no flag. He's got Rui Costa alongside him there, Baiano, but only one thought is in his mind, and that's to slide it into the corner.
We're seeing the best of Rui Costa there as well, Peter, running at the defence and just slipping a lovely ball in. The right pace on it, the right weight on it. And when you've got two strikers in form like Baiano and Batistuta, you're always going to score goals. Very intelligent play from Batistuta as well. Made sure he wasn't going to be the one that was caught offside. Great pass.
And every danger now, Fiorentina going on to win this comfortably, which I suppose in fairness to Torino is why they, from the outset, didn't show too much adventure. They feared this could happen. Bajika, Baiano, bit tentative then though. Ronaldo losing out to Rui Costa, who was caught by the Torino man. And we're seeing now the best of Fiorentina. They have played with so much buoyancy and confidence this season after a fairly sluggish start, but in the last few weeks they really put their game together, and they quite clearly are serious challengers for the Scudetto. Rui Costa, Robiati, now Batistuta. The shot was charged down, it spins away, kept in by Cagnato.
Yeah, they've showed a lot of patience. I think we were getting frustrated rather than the Fiorentina side, Peter. We wanted to see a bit of action, but they've kept their patience and they've played the ball about. I think the difference second half has been the substitution with Robiati coming into play. He's done very well.
Rui Costa, here is Robiati. He must be wondering what more he has to do to earn a place from the start. Bajika now on for Rui Costa. Good running by the Portuguese star, but it's Covero covering for Torino. On by Anglomar. Bernardini. They're asking far too much there of Dionigi, who's on loan from Milan. Arrived back in the summer, Dionigi. Scolio giving him his chance in this second half, but you fear now it's too late. And Scolio in danger of seeing his team beaten for the first time under his charge. Robiati cleverly flicked on then to Baiano. Just brings a bit of zest to Fiorentina's play, Robiati. Rui Costa. Looking to prize another opening, not this time though, away by Milanese. Carnashali is there. Now Baiano. Cleverly on to Batistuta. And he spotted Carnashali. He was unselfish then, Batistuta. And it almost worked too. Baiano. Robiati alongside him. Bashi with the foul.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't been booked for that, because he just took Baiano out of play here. Baiano was possibly going, get himself in a shooting opportunity. He's just been pulled down. Bit of inconsistency there from the referee. He booked Anglomar for the same kind of thing. Now maybe Robbiati's in a position, as he was against Roma, to bend this round a little bit nearer than he tried from last time.
Fresh instructions for Karic. While Torino look to defend this free kick taken by Robbiati. Wasn't that far wide. Certainly had Cagnato scrambling across. Robbiati with 4 goals in Serie A this season. A very exciting discovery by Fiorentina. And looking now to fulfill that potential in the current campaign. Milanese. Now Juventus have equalised away to Cremonese. Ravanelli with a penalty. So it's Cremonese 2, Juventus 2. And Roma have regained the lead against Sampdoria. Balbo has got his second of the afternoon. 2-1, Roma lead.
Yeah, I think if Juventus want to stay in touch today, they have to win, because it looks like that Fiorentina are going to get their 3 points. And it's going to be difficult for Milan to lose up in the San Siro, so Juventus really got to beat Cremonese today.
I gather Simone has missed a penalty for Milan. They're still leading by a goal to nil. Baggio with a penalty. I don't know whether Baggio has gone off or not. All will be revealed in due course. But they still have the advantage anyway, Milan, albeit by a single goal. But as Liam was saying, that's a real blow for Juventus if they don't win today. Cremonese are the bottom club in Serie A. It's all going right for Fiorentina now in the second half in the Stadio degli Alpi. Amoruso, 15 minutes left. Now it's Serena. Of course, Cremonese got a draw with Milan last week, so they're obviously improving. Offside flag is raised. And Torino really rather bereft of decent ideas when it comes to threatening the Fiorentina goal. Here's Padolino. Route 1 this time, but straight to Cravero. Now Falcone. Amoruso going straight into the back of Anglomar. Another substitution about to be made here. Coes is going to come on for Fiorentina. And Baiano going off. Got a whack a few minutes ago, Baiano. And of course, he has scored for his team this afternoon yet again. Helping to set up what they hope will be a vital away win to maintain the momentum in their Scudetto challenge.
Yeah, that's 20 between Baiano and Battistuta now, and if they can keep that kind of strike rate up, they're bound to be there at the finish challenging for this title.
Amoruso getting some distance on his header away. But Rui Costa losing possession. Dionigi. Anglomar in the middle. Was that a push? Serena. Certainly colliding with Dionigi. But there's no sympathy from referee Buonamonti.
I think good use of the body there from Serena. It would have been a very harsh penalty. He's first up here. He just shields the ball from the Torino forward.
Well, it was a hefty nudge. No caution for diving this time either. Falcone. Falcone again. Now Coes. Neat combination with the referee. Off goes Coes again. Schwarz. Rui Costa and Crivero. Rui Costa. That'll be Torino's throw. And they need to find some inspiration from somewhere. Maybe Anglomar can provide it for them. Schwarz penalised for his tackle on Jocelyn Anglomar. Here's Crivero taking the free kick. I don't think they're really going to extend Fiorentina in the air. Amoruso so strong at the back alongside Padalino. Here's Bernardini. Minaldo. Now Bacci. Minaldo again. Karic lining up the shot, which is deflected away, and there'll be a goal kick.
Well, I think the problem for Torino is that they've picked so many defensive-minded players that when it comes to being creative and trying to break down the opposition, they just haven't got the ability, and they're resorting to shots from long range and high balls into the box. They're not really troubling the Fiorentina defence.
And Dionigi, in fact, was offside anyway. Batistuta. Don't think he's 100% fit, Batistuta. Thanks for that ankle injury, but he certainly played his part again. Here's Robiati. Couldn't get the better of Milanese, and the cheer you heard just now, I think, is to bring the news that Juventus have now gone 3-2 down to Cremonese. Tentoni has got his second of the game. So Juve in all sorts of trouble. The club, of course, who share the stadium with Torino.
Yeah, there's great rivalry between these two clubs. I think that's going to be the only good news for Torino fans today, is that result.
They did the double over Juventus last season, but were thrashed 5-0 in the earlier meeting this season between the two clubs. Padalino. 10 minutes left, and Fiorentina, you feel, very much in control. Karic being hounded by Bajika. On by Anglomar. And good distribution by Toldo to find Serena. Batistuta. Schwarz making a run into the middle. Robiati as well. Maltagliati with a header out, but only as far as Coes. Good strong tackle by him, and he's then nicked it away from Batistuta. Anglomar. He's got the pace here to get away from Coes. Still Anglomar. Amoruso came hearing into the tackle. It'll be a caution for him. A free kick for Torino, but it could have been more serious then had he been allowed to make tracks towards that penalty area.
Well, that's typical, really, of an Italian defender, isn't it?
It's a cynical tackle, isn't it?
Well, it is a cynical tackle, and he knows he's quite a distance from the goal as well, so it's not in a dangerous area. They've got it off to a tee. He's quite happy to take a yellow card there and keep the score at 2-0. But another good run from Anglomar. He's been the outstanding player for Torino today.
But we saw there the ruthless side of Amoruso's game. Karic whipping over that free kick. Dionigi and Crivero hoping to make their presence felt. I think Crivero may be annoyed they both went for the same ball.
I think Crivero felt that was his ball there. It was a nice opportunity for Torino.
Karic with the corner. Anglomar. Couldn't get to it though, now he can. Faced by Bajika. Baci. Defenders on their way out, it goes Dionigi. Serena. And just whipped away at the last end by Toldo.
Yeah, probably a little bit too casual here from Serena. Would have been better off just booting that ball out in behind for a corner.
Offside.
A little bit risky, but they got away with it.
But generally they do seem in much better shape defensively this season, don't they, Fiorentina?
Yes, they've looked composed at the back, much more confident. In the art of defending is not making mistakes, and they haven't done too many today. Some of the defending's been really, really top class, and in pretty hairy situations they've kept their composure and just passed the ball out.
57 goals conceded in the last campaign by Fiorentina. That's Dionigi with a cross-camp shot. Carnashali trying to play it away. Under pressure from Baci. Robiati and Carnashali. Falcone. Off goes Dionigi. Trying to take on Serena.
I think he's got himself a free kick there. Serena was pulling out of his shirt.
Well, Serena clearly felt he was the innocent party there. That isn't the way that Ronamonti saw it. Well, he's pulling his shirt quite clearly there. Provero has come up. And Maltagliati, the tall number 6 in there. Karic with the free kick. Anglobar. And he was at full stretch. And the decision has gone in Fiorentina's favour. 5 minutes left. You can't really see now any change in the course of the game, Liam.
No, I think Fiorentina deserved this 2-goal lead. They've, as I said, they were patient and they took their goals when the chances arose. And Fiorentina really are paying the penalty for being so defensive-minded at the outset of the game. To be fair to Torino, they've had a few important players missing through suspension, and Pele's away playing in the African Nations Cup. So it's a weakened Torino side, but I think Fiorentina deserve their victory. It keeps them well and truly in the title challenge.
A free header for Milanese. Flicked on by Anglomar, but Serena able to make the connection for Fiorentina. Now Bajika to Robiati. Carnashali making another spirited run down the right flank to no avail. And he's got to hurry back now. Milanese, there's a gap down this right side. Can Karic exploit it? Not that way, he can't. Baci to Karic. Maltagliati. Falcone. They've been careless in possession so often today, Torino. This is Bajika. Coes to Schwarz. All good running here. No offside. Batistuta just thought for a moment then that he was clean through. But again, the lethal finishing of Batistuta has come up trumps for Fiorentina this afternoon. That's a tight decision. 3 in a line there for Fiorentina. And the linesman was in no doubt.
Yeah, it just shows you, just demonstrated that shot there, Peter, of how different it is to the first half. You know, Torino sometimes had 8, 9 defenders back, and it was very difficult for Fiorentina. Now, in that shot there, we saw that there was only 2 Torino defenders back against 3 Fiorentina players.
Maltagliati is the last defender. It certainly helps you appreciate the tactics of Scolio, the coach, who obviously would have felt from the outset at one point was better than none. Milanese, Provero. He's onside this time, Batistuta. Is this going to be number 3? He's got Robbiati with him. Still Batistuta. Great stop. Cagnato just got down in time to deprive Batistuta of his second goal of the day.
Maybe it's extremely selfish, Batistuta there, though, Peter. For me, that's not on. He would have been... Oh, there, we've had a red card now.
Red card for Coes. I think Anglamar is mystified as well. Didn't really see what happened there, I must confess. We'll see it again in a moment. Coes, no real argument from him. He's gone off. So a late problem here for Fiorentina, down to 10 men. Well, there's the tackle, which was certainly high and reckless from Coes. And the referee decides that was worth a red card.
Well, it's a strange decision. I could maybe have understood if Anglamar had have gone down injured or was badly hurt from that tackle, but just to go back to the Batistuta incident, Peter, when he was clean through, he really did have a chance just to make it 3-0 just by rolling the ball to Robbiati, who's been substituted now because of that red card.
Yeah, Sotil, another defender, has come on. They'll just want to keep things tight here right at the finish. Karic with the free kick. Just a couple of minutes to go. Batistuta on for Rui Costa. Batistuta onside. He's through this time. Cagnato won't stop him. And Batistuta has got his second now. Such confident finishing by the Argentine international.
Wow, what a great ball from Rui Costa as well, and a great run by Batistuta to make sure he was onside. Really cut the Torino defence out. We've seen 2 great balls from Rui Costa. He might infuriate the coach, but he can certainly open the defence up. I felt Batistuta was entirely wrong not to give the first chance to Robbiati, but he's out on his own here. He's had to go on his own. And his pace has taken him past Cagnato and into the empty net. It's a pity. There's the pass from Rui Costa again. Yeah. Similar to the second goal, Peter, isn't it?
Yeah, the referee's right in line there. He's looked across towards the linesman and said, on you go, Batistuta. That little injection of pace to take him away from the keeper. You're absolutely spot on. Earlier, he obviously should have serviced Robbiati. But this time, well, there was no teammate in support. But we saw again there the part that Rui Costa has to play and the importance that he has for Fiorentina. I understand the reservations about him, but for me, he's the difference between them being a good side and a very good one. Here's Bajica now. Outsmarted by Maltagliati.
This
Perfectly timed run, isn't it?
Great running from Batistuta. They've got a good understanding, haven't they? He knows exactly when he's going to go, and he's just slipped it.
Rui Costa with the free kick. Well into injury time now, and the game is surely up for Torino, as it has been for some time really. Once the first goal had gone in, you felt really Fiorentina would go on from there. They have done in some style too. And they are beginning to look now a very impressive team. Milan and Parma take note. Serena, the Fiorentina fans in great voice now. Another splendid result for their team. A double strike from Batistuta and one from his front-running partner Baiano. Well, that's it. The final whistle blown by Pasquale Rodamonti. And Fiorentina have won by 3-0. No goals in the first half, but they then took charge in the second. And no question, they were the better team, Liam, on the day.
Oh, absolutely. It was just a case of whether they were going to get that goal or not. Torino were defending very, very well, but Baiano went close twice, one with a good volley in the first half and one with a good header in the second that Cagnato did well to save. But once they opened the scoring with Battistuta, typical Battistuta goal, there was really no way back for Torino.
Well, Torino gambled by playing only one up front, and it cost them in the end, with Fiorentina scoring those 3 second-half goals. Let's look back then on the highlights of the match. There weren't too many in the first half, but this was the incident when they felt they should have had a penalty. Schwarz diving in on Anglomar. The referee played the advantage. Out came Toldo. Bernardini couldn't score, and then the referee gave the free kick for the back pass in the end.
Yeah, that was probably Torino's only really good chance of scoring. Bernardini should have maybe pushed it into the other corner rather than going for the near post. And really, that was probably their chance of getting anything from this match. Although they were unlucky with the subsequent free kick. It was cleared off the line. Good defending from Fiorentina.
Adelino on the line there to block the shot from Karic. As it's fired through here, Karic still seeking his first goal in Serie A. Didn't come today. And this was a shot from Baiano.
Yes,
a wonderful save by
volley I was on about from Baiano. Terrific volley, but a great save.
Really clean strike by Baiano. He's been back to his best form in recent games. Now Anglomar, we reckon, was playing as well as anyone today, and that's his header. It isn't far wide.
Yes, I think in the second half, as Fiorentina got their first goal and began to dominate, Anglomar went out of the match. But in the first half, he was probably the best player on the park. And he's not that tall, but he has a hell of a leap on him. And he went close there, just on the stroke of half-time.
Now this was a Baiano header. It was Carnasciali way down the right. A fairly rare occasion that happened. And Baiano's header, well kept out by Cagnato.
Yeah, great anticipation from Baiano there, getting across the defender, getting to that near post area. And he probably thinks he scored there, but a great save from Cagnato.
Well, the warning signs were clearly there for Torino, and this is Battistuta. First touch, a good one, and the second underneath the goalkeeper, and Fiorentina in front.
Yeah, this was a contribution from Robbiati. Good ball to Battistuta in his path. He's drilled it, gone through the defender's legs, and possibly because of that the keeper's a little bit unsighted and he can't deal with it. But a good striker's goal.
Well, the arrival of Robbiati certainly gave them more attacking options, Fiorentina, and they were threatening more goals. This was Rui Costa with the cross in. And it's a shot from Battistuta that's blocked by Maltagliati to cause him some distress.
Yes, all of a sudden then you see that Fiorentina have got bodies forward, they've got space to operate in, and Rui Costa was the man who really went to town when that space materialised.
Yes, he's the second goal, isn't he?
Yes. Good cool finish from Baiano. You can see why these guys have got a good strike rate. They don't panic in front of the goal. Lovely side foot into the side netting in the far corner.
Well, there was no way back for Torino, and every chance they were going to concede more goals. Now look at Robbiati as Battistuta goes striding clear. He only had to touch it into his path, surely. The goalkeeper stands his ground, and he was a bit selfish there.
Well, I suppose, you know,
all strikers would.
Yeah, they're all a bit like that, Peter, and the ones who score most goals are probably more selfish than anybody. But I felt this is his goal, but I felt he would have made himself look a better player just by touching that in Robbiati's path. It's the third goal. Great pass again from Rui Costa. Great running from Battistuta, and his pace took him past the Torino goalkeeper, and well, it's formality after that.
So a convincing win in the end for Fiorentina to keep up the pace at the top of the table. I'll have the other results in a moment. Let's go back to James for the time being, though. James?
Thanks, Peter. Well, 3-0, fairly emphatic stuff for Fiorentina, but Luther, you insist that it could have turned out so differently if Rodamonte had given that penalty in the first half.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we all know that goals changes games, and I think if they got the goal, it could have been a different game. I mean, it would have meant Fiorentina would have had to attack more, which would have left them wide open to the tactics that obviously Torino had set out to play.
But they attacked all the way through the game, didn't they?
Yeah, but it'd have been a different way. I mean, they'd have been attacking, they'd have been pressing, and I think they'd have left more holes at the back, which they'd have been exploiting, which they look like exploiting at certain stages of the game.
All right. Talking of holes at the back, if I may, Fiorentina, of course, one of the differences about them this year, which makes people think they may be a title contender, is the fact that they are that much more solid at the back.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, they defended really well today. I mean, they did stop them from getting through them, you know, especially early on. And as the game went on, but especially when the penalty wasn't given, they then probably thought to themselves, this could be our day. And I mean, they really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and then went for it.
Right. Meanwhile, up front, on the one hand, you've got Batistuta, who's struggling against an ankle injury, and they really can't permit themselves to give him a couple of weeks off to get it back to full strength. Right. Equally, though, he gets such great service that even if he's not playing at his best, he still notches up 2 goals.
That's right, because although he's not probably 100% fit, he still keeps making those runs.
Yeah.
I mean, the run he's made for the first goal was a great run, and then he struck it. Goalkeeper didn't see it coming in the back of the net, and the second one, obviously, I mean, he's ran through and finished it superbly.
Right, but perhaps the difference for them is that this reborn Baiano only scored 2 goals last season. This time, though, he's come on fire.
Yeah, I think obviously if you've got 2 or 3 people that are going to score goals, that's good for your team.
Right.
But with, I think, this extra belief they seem to have now, I mean, when they go behind or whatever, they now seem to think we can get back in this and we can win it.
Okay, it was a tough game for them, very, very briefly. Do you see them catch up with Milan as things go on?
I still think they will do. I mean, again, they scored 3 goals today. Milan only got the 1, so you never know.
Okay, excellent. Well, to find out all the rest of the final scores and indeed the standings, it's back to Peter.
So here we go then. Cagliari have beaten Udinese by 4 goals to 1. Muzzi, Oliveira, Dario Silva and Villa for Cagliari. Bierhoff, the lone reply for Udinese. Battistini sent off. Cremonese 3, Juventus 3. What a game there in Cremona. Tentoni with 2 and Maspero a penalty for Cremonese. Juventus scored through Vialli, Ravanelli with a penalty, and then deep into injury time, Vierkevod with that equaliser, 3-3. Milan 1, Padova 0, Roberto Baggio on 56 minutes for the penalty. Simone missed from the spot. Napoli 1, Bari 0. Di Napoli early on. Parma have beaten Atalanta by 2 goals to 0. Pin and Melli. Vieri missed a penalty for Atalanta. Roma 2, Sampdoria 1. Belbo with both goals for Roma. And Sampdoria's reply, Manini, his first league goal for 5 years. Not enough, though, to save his team from defeat. And Vicenza 1, Inter 1. Otero, a minute from time, with a penalty for Vicenza after Inter had gone ahead through Gats on 24 minutes. The night game, of course, Piacenza against Lazio. You can see that on Mezzanotte on Tuesday. Top of the table, then. No change at the top. Fiorentina still just a point behind Milan. Parma in 3rd place. No change there either. They also won today. Juventus have slipped back now after dropping a point. They're in 4th place on 29. Top scorers, Proti, joined by Batistuta then on 13 now. Bierhoff on 11. Caccia, Signori, Chiesa and Vialli all on 9. That's it from Liam Brady and myself, Peter Brackley. James, it's all yours.